Dana Denta, and you're watching FYI. The ice blocks were chilling at County Farm Park as carvers chipped away at their frozen sculptures that will only last a moment in time. Ice carving has a home in Michigan as local colleges compete, showing off their precision with power tools.
Today we have our 5th annual Ice Carving Festival at County Farm Park. We have ice carvers from different schools, University of Michigan, and today we have Macomb Community College here with some student ice carvers competing to see who can make the most creative design.
7 students were judged on creativity, accuracy, technique, and overall design.
The most challenging part for me is that once you do something, you can't really take it back. So if you make a bad cut, you just kind of have to roll with it. That's probably the most difficult thing for me.
Yeah, I'd say for me, it's probably just like the spatial aspect of it, like trying to think in 3D with a 2D template.
It is unique in that you don't just see finished creations, you see it from start to finish and see all the hard work that goes into it.
I went for a tiger. I just kind of picked it because I think tigers are cool. And I thought it would be fun to carve.
And then I did a dolphin just because it's fairly like a simple shape, but it's also pretty complex at the same time.
It's something you can't see a lot of other places. Like even outside of the state of Michigan, there isn't a ton of ice carving, and you can only do it in the winter.
First place from Macomb Community College, the dolphin, for our first place winner for this year.
Stay tuned, and we'll be back shortly with more news and information. February is coming to a close soon, and before spring sprouts, there's still plenty of winter weather fun to be had here in Washtenaw County. Skating, s'mores, and games on the ice were all the rage on a chilly Sunday afternoon.
We're at the Buhr Blitz here at Buhr Park Ice Arena, and behind me are some activities on the ice. This is a regular open skate activity at the ice rink, but what's special is that there's volunteers here coordinating and facilitating games and activities.
It's basically like games all around the rink, and it's just a really fun day to like get to know other people and have some fun.
You'll get a chance to check out flying animals. You'll see a rubber chicken and a rubber pig flying through the air, being thrown at targets. There's an obstacle course. There's a game we call giant cup stacking, just giant cups. One of my favorites also is the fly swatter fun with balloons and fly swatters, so kids are just having the opportunity to bounce around some balloons as they skate or pass it back and forth.
Give 365 volunteers help make the day a blast.
We're always looking for ways to engage volunteers and do something within the park system. So this event is just an example of an opportunity where volunteers have that they can kind of add something special to the drop-in skating and make it a little more fun, and we kind of coordinate the games and volunteers bring all the magic.
For more offerings from the City of Ann Arbor, visit a2gov.org. Our snow accumulation for the 2019-2020 season has been low, but when the white flakes cover our streets and sidewalks, there's some need-to-know info for residents and business owners. Learn more about snow removal guidelines in this month's City Roundup in 60.
Hello, my name is Robert Keller with the City of Ann Arbor. Winter means snow and ice, and that makes it hard for people to get around the city, especially pedestrians. So as a resident and business, you need to do your part and help clear your sidewalks of ice and snow. What does that mean? Well, for residents, it means Any snow accumulation greater than 1 inch has to be cleared within 24 hours. If you're a business, any snow accumulation by 6 a.m. needs to be cleared by noon the same day. So help do your part, clear your adjacent sidewalks, crosswalk ramps, and any concrete bus stops that may be adjacent to your property, and help make it easier for people to get around the great city of Ann Arbor.
There's a mystery afoot at Riverside Art Center as feuding theater critics Bird, Boot, and Moon visit Muldoon Manor for a once-in-a-lifetime performance. As the play within a play unfolds, the critics now must put their pens and pads down and become part of the action. Joining me is Tim Henning, director of The Real Inspector Hound. Welcome to the show, Tim. I feel like this is the first time we've actually met, but I feel like I know you already.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I've seen your name.
Yeah, I've definitely seen you.
Different places.
You're known in the theater community around here for directing and being in
For
shows.
good and bad.
Yeah, I would say mostly good from what I've heard.
I hope so.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about, why you just decided to direct this show, The Real Inspector Hound?
Well, actually, this is the 4th time I've been involved in Real Inspector Hound. I was in it once at Civic Theater many moons ago when they were at the old Elks Club down on Main Street, if any of the people out there remember that. And then once at the Black Sheep Theater. I ran that for a year back in '83, and we did a production and I produced that. I was in the first one. And the third one was with Morrisco, with Susan Morris's group.
Okay.
And I was in that, and now I'm directing it.
So this is your first time directing it?
Yeah, I've directed a lot of other plays.
Oh,
this
yeah,
is the first time I've done this one. And I just knew, well, I've been working with PTD. I've done a couple of plays with them in the last couple of years, been in their plays, and I had been producing a lot of shows through my, under the name Emergent Arts.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's kind of a little difficult raising money these days for theater, especially on your own, kind of. Well, I had a lot of help, but, so I had been working with PTD, and I thought, well, they have a great group there. They got a lot of people really involved, that are really doing some good stuff. And I thought, well, why not direct something with them and actually have some support for this? And
that's amazing. Yeah, working with PTD is a very supportive community.
Yeah, we were at the shop the other day, working on set and stuff, and not just that day, but a couple of weeks before that, go to the shop to see what's there, and just people just are showing up that I didn't even know were involved in this particular production.
Yeah.
They just come out and they're there, helping with costumes and finding props and set pieces and all this kind of stuff, furniture.
So how does it feel now, sort of changing seats in this play? Because you've been an actor in it 3 times, and now being behind the curtain, so to speak. How does it feel to sort of make it your own?
I actually don't even think of it from having been an actor in it anymore. I guess I've just directed enough shows that I love seeing actors create, and this is a great show for that.
Mm-hmm.
The actors are able to try things, which is what I hope I encourage that. I try not to be the director who says, no, this is the way it's going to be, blah, blah,
Yeah.
I've been an actor enough to realize that that's.
You got to give some freedom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And these actors are great. They're coming up with stuff. I mean, of course, I say, how about try this, try that, and then they just come up with things. An exit. Sometimes in comedy, it's just a matter of a look, or it's timing. All that sort of thing.
Yeah, and I think a lot of times with comedy, you don't really know if it's going to hit or not. So I'm in an acting class right now, and we're doing a scene from The Baby Dance, and I'm reading, we're just doing our table read, and everyone's cracking up.
Right.
And I was like, I didn't realize this was even funny. Reading it to myself, I didn't realize how funny people thought it actually was. So it's one of those interesting things.
That will happen both ways.
Yeah.
When you get in front of an audience, there will be things that,
it doesn't hit at all.
First of all, why is that funny? Or I didn't know it was that funny, or I wasn't sure they were going to laugh.
Yeah.
And then other things that you thought, for sure that's funny.
And you get nothing. Yeah.
They say crickets.
Yeah. So it's definitely one of those interesting things where comedy's so subjective, and there is a lot to work with as an actor. It's sort of a meatier thing to do with comedy.
Well, that's what's fun about this show, is it really does give you liberty to sort of stretch the limits. Almost anything goes, because in the setting it's a play within a play, and that play within the play is essentially being done by bad actors. And if something goes wrong or whatever, we just say, okay, let's keep that.
Yeah.
You know, somebody drops something or kicks something over or does something. If it's funny, we say, okay, well, let's just keep doing that.
Yeah. In some ways, that's challenging for the actors because I've seen the name. You've got some big name people in the local theater arena too, playing these characters, the main characters in the show. So I think it can be hard sometimes to be like an actor and sort of be established and know what you're doing, and then sort of have to dumb it down because you're saying, these guys, the characters aren't necessarily actors within the play.
Right. Well, the rule that I've sort of come up with is that don't even think about that. You know, Tom Stoppard himself said, don't look at this play and try to make too much sense out of it.
And this is the playwright, and he's a very famous playwright.
Yeah, he basically said, it's an entertainment. So if it's funny, that's what works. And so if you sit down and try to figure out, now is that the real actor or the actor, then you're just going to go around in circles in your
I
head.
think like anytime you are dealing with something so meta that it can, like if you think about it too hard, it can almost like get your wheels turning too much, and you can get lost in it.
And that's the Stoppard world in
Yeah.
a lot of his plays, especially the early ones. It's not reality. It's this other kind of, not necessarily unreality, but a different reality.
Yeah.
It's not, there's not a logical connection to our world. You just kind of have to let yourself go with it.
And as you were mentioning before about like how he uses characters from other things, so like, he's creating worlds for characters that already exist.
Right, like in Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are Dead, the two characters that are in Hamlet, they're very minor characters. He makes a whole play about them, like what happens to them when they're off stage? Well, it's not the reality. It's not like them actually going around about their lives that they might have lived back in those days. It's this theater reality. It's this fictional theater reality. What's possible? What can they be doing?
And that's what seems like sort of a common theme with Stoppard, where he likes to sort of twist what reality can be.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Now, he has also done some plays that are a little more set in reality, but he always has that kind of bent, that kind of, little twist to his view of things,
So when can we go see The Real Inspector Hound?
Oh, okay, well.
Yeah, you can pull out your handy cheat sheet.
I happen to have this right here. It's
coming up soon.
February 27th it opens. Actually, that's basically at PTD they call it a preview, and it's Pay What You Can. It's Thursday night.
Yeah, all Thursdays are Pay What You Can.
All Thursdays are, and next week is the preview / I call it opening, but it's the preview.
Yeah.
And I think officially the opening is Friday the 28th. So it's February 27th, 28th, 29th, and March 1st. That's all next weekend.
Yep.
And then the second week, we have a Wednesday matinee on the 4th, which is at 2? Does it say?
We'll say it's 2.
It's
we'll
at
say
2, yes.
Yeah.
And then Thursday, Friday, and Saturday show at 8, and no show on Sunday the second week.
Okay, but there are a lot of chances to see.
Yeah, there's a lot of chances, and there's a Facebook page for PTD Productions is what the Facebook page is. And there's a website for PTD also, which is ptdproductions.com.
You can get all your ticket info, all that, tickets at the door in advance.
Yes.
And then we're out of time, but why don't you just tell people why they should come see your version of The Real Inspector Hound?
Oh, because the actors are just great, and they're funny, and you will laugh a lot. And it's not incredibly long. You're not going to be sitting there for 2.5 hours. It's about 1 hour and 15 minutes, no intermission. Come, have a good time, laugh, go out to one of the local places, whatever you like to do, and make an evening of it.
And I think I'd like to add on myself here is that this is not a show I hear a lot about in town.
Right.
So this could be like one of the last chances you see it for a while.
That's true. It used to be a very popular play, like back in the 80s, 90s, even 2000, and not so much anymore.
Yeah.
Because just people don't know about it. There's been a lot of new stuff by Tom Stoppard, so they just don't know about that one.
All right. Well, thank you, Tim.
Yeah. Thank you.
For more on this and other programs, visit a2gov.org/CTN. Visit youtube.com/CTN Ann Arbor to see all that we have to offer, and remember to like, comment, and share. Thanks for watching, and tune in next time to FYI.